Hi everyone, welcome to Deep Health Training channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use the SRA Toolkit, a tool that helps researchers download and work with DNA and RNA raw sequencing data. If you are new to bioinformatics or sequencing, don't worry, I will make this easy to understand. By the end of this video, you will know how to install the toolkit, download sequencing data, and use its key features. The SRA Toolkit is a free tool made by NCBI. It lets you access sequencing data from the Sequence Root Archive, or SRA, which is the world's largest database of DNA and RNA raw sequencing information. Why is this useful? If you're studying disease, evolution, or any genetic-related topic, you might need real data for your work. You know the size of NGS raw sequencing data are very huge. Now assume that you need multiple of them for your work. Therefore, it's very hard to download and convert them manually. Here, SRA Toolkit will help us. By that, you can easily download multiple data and convert them into a format like FASTQ and analyze easily. Let's get started by installing SRA Toolkit. In the official website of SRA, in Tools and Software, the first link is Download SRA Toolkit. Click on it. Now we are directed to the GitHub page of the toolkit. Here you can download the version that is compatible with your operating system, Windows, Mac, or Linux. Firstly, I will download the Windows version. Once it's downloaded, open the folder and we can see a zip file from SRA Toolkit. At first, we have to unzip it. In Windows, it's very easy. Just open the zip file, copy it, and I want to paste it here. Okay. So now I delete the zip file, and we have this folder. Let's open it. In bin folder, I can see every executive command that we need in SRA Toolkit. To check if the toolkit is working, open a CMD or command prompt. Change the directory to this location. Okay, here write this code: FASTQ dump -- version. And if you see the version of the toolkit, so congratulations, it will work. You install it properly. Before using the toolkit, it's optional but recommended to have a configuration. So again, open a CMD and change the directory to the bin folder. So I want to copy this directory location and change CD. I make it bigger. So here we can write this code: vdb config and -i for the interactive environment. Now, in this page, we can only use keyboard and mouse doesn't work. If I click on, for example, exit, it doesn't work with mouse. But to use keyboard, we have some letters in red. For example, if I press X, it will exit, or if I press S, it will be save my change. So, firstly, in the main tab, we have to check remote access be enabled. If I press E, now the remote access is disabled. And again, I press E in my keyboard, so remote access now is enabled. If remote access be disabled, SRA Toolkit doesn't access to SRA and other databases. Now if I press C, the tab will change to Cache tab. So here I can press O and direct to this part. Here I can change the download location. Now my download location is here. And if I want to download all the files in one folder, I can change directory here. So I want to download the files in, for example, download folder, and now I want to create a new folder. I press tab, so now I can choose here between these options, create the directory, and for example, I create a folder with the name of SRA data. Okay, so I choose this folder, SRA data. I press tab, and here I enter. Now my SRA data will download in this file location. I press A and choose AWS tab. AWS is for configuring the access to Amazon Web Service Cloud, and gzip tab is for configuring the access to Google Cloud Platform. The net for network, controls network-related settings, which are critical if you're working behind a firewall or limited bandwidth. And in the Tools tab, we have two options. If we choose User Repository, the output data will store in the location that we already assigned in Cache tab. And if we choose Current Directory, the results will be saved in your current working directory when you execute a command. To change this, I press P, and now I can change the options. I choose User Repository. When you finish your work, press S to save the changes and O to OK. And now press X to exit this environment. Now let's try using the toolkit to download sequencing data. First, find the dataset you want. Go to the MCBI website and search for a project or organism. First, go to SRA database. And here I want to search, for example, for brain cancer data. I use the first link. The SSN number started with SRX, so it's an experiment with 2 run. I want to download the first run, this one. Let's copy it. Now open a CMD in your Windows or command prompt. Change the directory to the bin folder of SRA Toolkit. Now use this code. Prefetch, and in front of this, paste the SRR SSN number and enter. Now the data is downloaded. Let's check it. Because in config, I assigned this folder to download data, so the data should be here. Let's check it in SRA folder. Yes, I can see the file with the format of SRA is downloaded in this folder. If you want to get more option of prefetch command, just write prefetch -- help. Now we can see different options of it. For example, if I write prefetch instead of -- help, this time I want to write -h. So the result is the same. Here we can see different options of prefetch command. For example, if I want to specify output directory, I use this option, -big O or -- output-directory. Let's use it. I'll write prefetch, and in front of it, write -o. For example, I'll write and here I want to give another folder, for example, SRA new. If you check this folder, we have just one SRA folder, so there is not any SRA new folder. The command will create this folder for us, and in front of that, I give the SRR accession number. Downloading the raw sequencing data is a little time consuming. It depends on your system and your internet connection, so don't worry if it takes time. Okay, the data is downloaded. Let's check it. Yeah, the command created a new folder with the name of SRA new, and inside that, I can see the file is downloaded here. Now I delete this folder. To download multiple raw sequencing data, you can write their names in front of prefetch. Let me first delete these files. Prefetch the first data, space, and now the second data I want to download with each other. Copy it and paste in front of that. Now if I enter, both data will be downloaded. The first data is downloaded, and now is downloading the second file. Okay, now both data is downloaded. Let's check it. Yes, we have both data. Again, I delete these files. When you have many accession numbers or many files to download, it's time consuming to copy and paste all the accession numbers here. So maybe the efficient way is to save their names in a text file and give the text file to prefetch command. But how can we do that? In this page, I click on All Runs, and here I directed to another page, the page of SRA Run Selector. And here I can see both runs. I click on both of them, and here I want to click on accession list. If I click on it, a text file will download it. Let's open the text file. The content of text files is our accession numbers. Okay. Or maybe you want to select more data in SRA run selector. There is another way to give the text file of all of them. Just come back to this page. Now, for example, I want to have the runs of this 3 experiment in run selector. Here I select them, and here in send to, we have one option, run selector. Click on it and go. It needs time to load all the rounds in run selector. Okay, now we have all the rounds related to these 3 experiments. We can select all of them and click on accession list. And now let's check the list. So now we have all of them in a text file format. Delete it. Okay, we want to continue with this text file that we have 2 raw data accession on it. First, let's check which option can we use. Again, I write prefetch. Which option can we use? This option. -- option -file. All right, option file space, and in front of that I have to give the directory related to this text file. So I copy this location. Okay, that's it. If I enter, the prefetch command will read this text file and download each accession number that's in this file. Okay, now the 2 data should be downloaded. Again, check this file, and yes, these 2 raw sequencing data is again downloaded. Next step is to convert the data to readable formats like FASTQ that we needed for downstream analysis. So use this command, FASTQ dump. In front of FASTQ dump, we have to write the location of the SRA file format that we want to convert it. So copy this path here. This is one file, and again, this is the second file. Again, it takes some time to convert both files to FASTQ. It's done. Let's check the files. FASTQ dump normally convert the data and save them in the working directory that we are. So we have to see 2 FASTQ file formats in bin folder of the toolkit. Exactly. We see these 2 FASTQ file formats in bin folder. Now I want to delete them. Come back to here. Let's see what options FASTQ dump has. If I want to that the command save the FASTQ files in another folder, I have to use this option, -o or out dir, out directory. Again, write fastq dump dash big O, the directory that I want to save the file. For example, I want to save them here. And I want to create a new folder with the name of fastq space. Now I have to give the SRA files. Again, don't forget the directory of the files. This is one file, and this is the second file. It's done. Let's check the files. Okay, now in bin folder, we don't see any fastq file. Come back to SRA data. It created a fastq folder, and inside that I can see two fastq files. The size of each one is 2.7 gigabyte. Again, I delete all of them, fastq files and SRA files. You can also use directly fastq dump and overlook prefetch command. It will download the SRA file and will convert it to fastq, and at the end, the SRA files will be removed. Let's check it. I already delete all of the data, SRA and fastq, and now I want to write fastq dump. I want to give the location. This location I already. Okay. In front of that, I have to give the SSH numbers related to the data that I want to download them. So I give these two SSH numbers. Now the two data is downloaded and converted to fastq. For me, it's lasts about 6 minutes. Let's check the files. In fastq folder, I can see two fastq files. Again, I delete all the files. If your data has parent reads and you want two files for each sample, let's check our examples. This is experiment that we used in this tutorial, and layout here is paired. So we know that the sequencing performed in a pair end for this experiment. To get two files for each end of each one of these rounds, use this option of fastq dump. Right, fastq dump. Give the location that you want to download the files. Don't forget O option. After that, use this option, split -- split files. Now the name of the file. Okay, it's done. Now for this data, we should have two files. Let's check it. Exactly. For this data, we have the number 1 and number 2 for each pairs. Again, I delete these files. You can also download and compress the files at the same time using this option, fastq dump -big O, the location that I want to save the files. And now I write this option --gzip and split files for parent files and the name of data. Now this data is downloaded, converted to 2 files, and also compressed. Let's check it. In FASTQ folder. In FASTQ folder, I can see 2 FASTQ compressed files for each end. A faster alternative to FASTQ dump for converting SRA file format to FASTQ format is FasterQ dump. FasterQ dump, and in front of that, the name of the file. This code should be a faster alternative to FASTQ dump. Also, to convert SRA files into the SAM format, we have this command, SAM dump. Let's see its option. Okay, I want to show an example of this command. I use SAM dump, and here I want to use this option to give a directory to save the file, -output -file. Now I want to give a directory to save the files. Okay, I want to save them here. And here I give a name to the files. For example, I give the name of the file .sam for the SAM format. And in front of that, I write the name of the raw sequencing data. Okay, let's check it. So here I have a file with the format of SAM. And its size is about 2.9 gigabytes. That's it. Now I have the data downloaded and compressed, ready for analysis. In continue, I will show you how to use SRA Toolkit in Linux distribution. Now I want to install SRA Toolkit in Ubuntu. The easiest way to install SRA Toolkit in Ubuntu is this method. Open a terminal. I recommend always starting by updating your system to ensure a smooth installation. With this code, you can update your system. Sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. Enter your password. Okay, the system is updated. Now write this command, sudo apt install SRA toolkit. I had the toolkit, but for the first time it should be installed. With this way, it doesn't need to change the directory to the bin folder of SRA Toolkit. So here I can write the command directly. I write prefetch dash version and check the version of the toolkit, and I can see the toolkit is working. Here the version of the SRA is 303. Now let's check the SRA Toolkit website. Here I can see the last version of SRA Toolkit is 311. But here my installed version is 303. So this is the easiest way to install SRA Toolkit, but it's not the last version. If you want to install the last version, we have to install it manually. So I will follow the installation process on its website. Firstly, I want to remove the previous version to avoid any mix-up. Again, open a new terminal. Let's create a new folder. And change the directory to this folder. Here, I will copy this code in the terminal to download the last version. So copy it. And paste it here in the terminal. Now the last version is downloading. Let's check the downloaded file. The file is downloaded, but it's compressed. So firstly, we have to extract the file. In the terminal, write tar vxzf and the name of the file. Now let's check the extracted file. So the extraction works properly. So now I want to delete the zip file. If you don't have tar in your system, you can install it easily using sudo apt install tar. Normally, we saw in the Windows to use the SRA Toolkit, we have to change the directory to the bin folder of the toolkit. But if we want to use the SRA Toolkit from anywhere in the terminal, we have to add it to the system path. So I copy this code in the instruction and paste it here in the terminal. This code is for version 3 and for Mac. Don't forget to change the name compatible with your downloaded toolbox. So I copy the name of the toolbox here. And replace it. This adds the SRA Toolkit's binary folder to your system path, so you can call its command easily from anywhere. Now it doesn't need to change the directory to the bin folder of the toolkit. Now verify that the binaries will be found by the shell, which I can write one of the commands, for example, fastq dump. And here we can see the path of the command in the system path. Finally, let's check if the toolkit works from anywhere, and also check the version of the toolkit. So I change the directory to the main directory and write one of the commands, prefetch --version. We are not in the bin folder of the toolkit, but it should be work. The command should be work. So the command is working. We did everything very well. And the version is 3.1.1, and this is the last version of the toolkit. If you see the version number, congratulations. The SRA Toolkit is successfully installed. Other SRA Toolkit codes are the same as that I said in Windows. That's it for today's tutorial. You've learned how to install and set up SRA Toolkit on Windows and Ubuntu. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. See you in the next video.